Welcome to part 2 of the Investment Company of America guide. And this again is just fantastic, specific to the fund, but also specific to the overall markets as a whole. And for me, this actually has a big impact on my life. This one little guide here in terms of my market knowledge, and it really changed things a lot for me. So let's share it with you here today. This is not a recommendation for this fund. Absolutely is not. As for me, if I had one fund to invest in, it'd be this. Now, you don't have one fund to invest in, so just be advised, do not take this as a recommendation. Please don't. I'm just showing it with it because I think it's cool. It's a good history lesson on the markets too. All right, so this is part 2. So there's always been reasons not to invest. Many investors may be tempted to base investment decisions on emotion, but ICA has given its shareholders good reason to look beyond the headlines. Here's what would have happened if you invested $10,000 in the ICA on these historic days. The day Pearl Harbor was bombed, December 7th, 1941. How much did we invest in here? $10,000. 10 years later, it'd be worth $34,000, an average return of 13.3. That's during the midst of World War II, by the way. Crazy. If you would have invested $10,000 on the day Pearl Harbor was bombed, by the end of 2017, you would have had $57 million in your account. The day President Kennedy was assassinated, which also is the day C.S. Lewis died, by the way. And by the way, did you know Mother Teresa died on the same day that Princess Di died? Very sad that we hear more about Princess Di than Mother Teresa, but that's the nature of being a missionary. You're not doing it for the glory or the fame, that's for sure. 10 years later, $10,000 on the day Kennedy died on November 22nd, 1963. It would have been worth $23,000 10 years later. By the end of 2017, it would be worth $3.2 million. Terrorists attacked the World Trade Center September 11, 2001. 10 years later, it's only worth $12,715, which is only 2.4, which is one of the worst decades we've ever had for the markets. By the end of 2017, though, it would have tripled to $32,085. So essentially from even during that worst time. And again, this is literally the worst time that the investment company America has ever had. This decade from 2000, this 20-year cycle from 1998 until the end of 2017. But you still would have tripled your money. The Dow Jones dropped a record. This is crazy. 22.6%. On that one day on October 19th, 1987, it would have been worth $44,000 10 years later, or $208,000 by the end of 2017. So you can see all these different things, which is cool. Now, here is the thing that's just awesome. I used to keep this picture on my wall. It's called the growth chart here. It's amazing. So growth of a hypothetical $10,000 investment from 1934 to 2017. And it gives us all the reasons not to invest. Civil War in Spain, Great Depression, recession, war in Europe, France falls. You can look at this. It's crazy. And then it gives us also dividends excluded, dividends reinvested, but the total return, we got negative 38%. I mean, just so you can see all in the red. And I'll put a link to the PDF in the show notes. It's just a piece of history. Soviets detonate H-bomb. I mean, just all these different reasons. Suez Canal, if you're not familiar with that, it's pretty interesting. But watch this. All right, so I want to read this to you right here. This is not drawn to scale. This chart is based on logarithmic scale. So it uses smaller and smaller numbers, increments for larger numbers. If the scales are arithmetic, with say 1 inch representing every 10,000, a dark blue area, which includes dividends, a dark blue area, if dividends have been excluded, the dark blue area, including results, if dividends, that's dark blue is with dividends being excluded, would have been 108 feet tall. So if we just do not reinvest dividends, this would have been 108 feet tall, the chart here, which is less than Statue of Liberty, which is 151 feet. However, if we include dividends, this is crazy. The lighter blue section, including dividends. So here's excluding dividends, here's including dividends. Because it's logarithmic, it looks like that's the light blue is not nearly as big as the dark blue, which is including dividends, which is excluding dividends. So because it's log, we're not showing the true measure of the scale. So the light blue doesn't look like as big of growth as the dark blue. Yet look at this, including dividends reinvesting. This would have been 1,232 feet tall, man. 1,238 2 feet tall, which is 8 times the size of the Statue of Liberty. So the ICA at $10,000 in the beginning of its time and reinvesting dividends is worth $147 million today. The S&P 500 dividends reinvested is worth $60 million today. Now, the difference is the ICA averaged 12.1 and the S&P 500 averaged 10.9. Not a huge difference, right? Well, look at that. We're talking $87 million in difference, my friends, over those 84 years. But if we don't reinvest dividends, it's only worth $13 million, 8.9%. So 8.9% to 12.1 is the value that dividends reinvested have added, which is another, which added $134 million of growth, my friends, just having those dividends reinvested, i.e. the difference between 8.9% rate of return and 12.1. If you did not reinvest in the S&P 500, you're at $60 million dropped to $2.65 million, the value of dividends reinvesting. Look at that. I mean, we're talking huge differences, my friends. So don't overlook the value of dividends being reinvested. The benefit of time. This is the ICA 1 year period. They've had 84 years, of which 67 over 1 year have been positive, 67%. So 2/3 out of every year. For every year, 2/3 have been positive, 1/3 have been negative. Every 3 years, 90% have been positive, 10% roughly have been negative. Over 5 years, 92% have been positive, 8 years have been negative. And over 10 years, so 75 individual 10-year periods, every single year has been positive. You made money. Dividends reinvested, of course. Dividends have made the difference, and I'm not going to get too deep because we just talked about this, but they show the value of dividends reinvested and the value of not reinvesting dividends. We just went over that, so I'm not going to go over that again. All right, but what I like about growth over many years was long-term mean. Over any 5 years, the best you would have done the ICA, you would have averaged 22.3% from 1995 to 1999, and you would have $1,000 with dividends reinvested would have grown to $2,700. The worst 5 years was in 1937 and 1941, and your $1,000 would have dropped to $675. And you can see, it's the median, 50% above, 50% below. The median was 11.7, which you would have had $1,000 would have grown to $1,700. 1997 to 2001. So let's look at the 2000s, the worst. So here is the worst 20 years. Look at this. 1998 to 2017 is literally the worst 20 years of the ICA, and $1,000 invested in that time still would have quadrupled to $4,370. If you can hold it for 20 years, you're likely to make a bunch of money, or you have in the past. I have no clue what it'll do in the future. And yet, look at even 15 years. Again, the worst time frames, 2001 to 2015, your $1,000 would have doubled. Over 10 years, your $1,000 will only average. This is the worst, 1%. So not much, but that is time we've lived through. I remember living through this, 1% a year for those 10 years. I guarantee many, many people got out because they said, this is horrible. This fund stinks. I'm going to the internet fund or whatever it was back then. Gold. That's what it was. Gold and precious metals and real estate. I'm only getting 1% a year in the market. I'm going to gold and I'm going to real estate. You can see that. I love that chart. The longer now here, I love the quants. All right, here are the quants. They're putting $1,000 a month into the ICA in 1983. So they do it for 15 years. So they total $180,000 they put in there. All right, so that's what they put in, $180,000 after 15 years. And I grant you, this was a good time. From 1982 to 1999 was a great time to be invested for sure. The following 20 years were the worst time. So we're looking at the best time to accumulate and the worst time to take distributions. And the quants were taking distributions of 5% a year of their portfolio each and every year. And now watch. Now their 180,000 grew to 663, but now they're pulling 5% a year out. So 1998, they're happy as a clam. They've got 33,000, 1999, 40,000, 43, 42. Whoa, all of a sudden we're going down to 31,000. Yikes, what's going on there? We're taking 31,000 a year out, and our account at this point in 2002 is only worth 624. Yikes, should we stop? The quant said, no, we're not going to stop. We're going to keep at it. Then watch this. In 2007, they're pulling again back to 40, the mid-40s, which is the most they've ever pulled out, 44,000 up to that point. Then the market got trounced. It went from 888 to 546. Yikes! But they're only pulling at this stage 27,303 at the end of 2009. Oh no, we're gonna stop. Should we get out? No, don't get out. And now we see what happened at the end of 2017. They're pulling 50,000 a year. They're pulling off this portfolio, and it's worth 1.13 million. So they started with 180. All right. it grew to 663 at the end of the worst 20 years ever for the ICA. It's still worth 1.13 million, and they're pulling 50,000 a year out, which gave them total withdrawals at $785,000. The value of time, my friends. And they give us a couple of things. If you take the dividends in cash, I don't want to go over that, but it's interesting. You take the dividends in cash. If you just take a simple 5% a year, if you take a flat $5,000. So that's pretty interesting. And then they talk about the ICA's return versus the market. And I like this one the best. So look, so they're going to say of the 84 years, all right, let's just look. The ICA was the best performer of the ICA relative to the S&P 500 relative to inflation. All right, so we have 84 years. Here's a year where the inflation was the best. In 1937, inflation was the best. The stock market was second best and the ICA was last. However, over 84 years, what happened total? And we shall show you here. Does it tell me? Yeah, right here. Over 84 years, the ICA only was the best 33 times. The S&P 500 was the best 30 times, and inflation was the best 21 times. And yet the ICA did 12.2. S&P 500 did 10.9, inflation did 3.6, and we showed you the difference between 12.2 and 10.9 is phenomenal, actually. So let's keep going down. I'm not going to talk too much about it, and that's pretty much. I think there's another thing up here. Let me just see real quick. I wanted to show you. Did we talk about? Oh, we got to show you Louis the Loser. Where is that? Right? Bear with me just a second because I like Louis the Loser. Where is that? Bear with me just a second because there's another one they've used Louis the Loser many, many, many times. And there's the growth chart, the mountain chart. That's what they say right. Louis the Loser right here. I want to show you this one. This is cool. And you can see this is the mountain chart. So I used to pull that off and hang it up on my wall because it's incredible. The drawback is you do get caught up in the light blue. Reinvesting dividends doesn't look like it's that powerful relative to the dark blue. But again, if we did it with a logarithm, with an arithmetic scale, it'd be insane how much that light blue would grow. All right, so let's look at Louis the Loser here. And I've been using this for years. It's the same thing. Louis the Loser never times anything right. Every year over the past 20 years, he's invested $10,000 in the ICA on the worst possible day to invest. But why is he still smiling? Because Louis' investments have done nearly as well if he would have picked the best day to invest each and every year. So the worst day to invest was 11/23/98, 12/31/99, 1/14/2000. I bet it's going to be 12/30/09. So he invests in the worst possible day, $10,000 each year, and he still has $446,000 in his accounts after 20 years. Again, that's the worst 20 years we've seen. He put 20,000 in. It grew 7.5% a year, up to 446,000. That's why he's still smiling. Now, if he would have invested in the best day, which is these days, the market low is 3/9/2009. Look at that, 3/9/2009. That is when the market bottomed out. We haven't seen anything near that. It probably never will. And then he would have invested in the best day when the market's at its lowest. His average total return is 9.27, and he's got 555,000 to show for it. So he's got about 110,000 more. Winnie the winner. We'll just say Miss Winnie picked it right by luck. Mr. Louis picked it wrong by luck. And at the end of the day, Winnie the winner has 555,000. Louis the loser has 446,000. They both made pretty good amounts of money. That's why you just can't time the market because you just don't know. And you're not going to be lucky all the time. Just not going to happen. Well, I hope this helps. I love the ICA guide. Been a huge fan. Like I said, I pick it off every year just to see what it looks like. And that just shows you the value of investing in dividends for sure. Reinvesting, not taking dividends off his cash. I'll put a link to this in the show notes. Just remember, this is not a recommendation on this fund. It just is something that changed me when I was just starting out in the industry. It just changed me fundamentally. The difference between fixed income and income that grows with dividends reinvested, the difference is mind-boggling, especially over a significant amount of time. And I hope you like this. I'll put a PDF in the show notes. Don't buy this. Do not buy this fund. I'm telling you, don't buy it because I do not want you saying this is a recommendation. It is not. Do not buy the fund. Do your own research. And if you like what you see, subscribe, thumbs up. Love to hear your comments, and we'll see you next time at the Heritage Wealth Planning YouTube channel. Thanks, guys.